Today is August 16th, 2025. Okay. Last night I went on Google, where I did my Google searches of that a doctor can't talk about you without your consent, or it's a HIPAA violation, Privacy Act, 10-year sentence, and it could be up to $1.5 million fine. I also did put up on Facebook again of no attorney can set up button cameras in your home. They can't cyber stalk you. They are to be criminally charged and disbarred. No attorney can have their doctor friend look up your medical records. It's stealing documents, the same thing, and then for the doctor. Okay? And no doctor can drug you and tell you to say stuff. They can't question you under drugs. It is pharmaceutical tortures between 20 and 30 years. Now, I want you to think of this scenario. This is why Ohio had an ex-surgeon. When I went in there to get a ball of wax dug out, they said some psychiatrist showed up here and was bad-mouthing her. We told them we didn't want them in their office. And we told them leave. Why? Because it's a federal crime. $10 years. Do you know why you sign a consent to go to a specialist? For them to send a limited part of your medical records over to them. Because they don't have a right to look at your medical records. They can't look you up without your signed consent. It's stealing documents. It's a 10-year sentence and a $250,000 fine. Loss of medical records. Loss of medical license forever. Do you know when you get to the specialist, why do you sign a consent? So they can actually talk to your other doctor. Your doctor can't even consult with another doctor without your consent. They can't talk to you, talk about you. So now think of their scenario. Them showing up at Carp and Rapika's office. Seeing there's some guy named Will from an attorney's office. Wants to talk to him about me. What are they to say? Get out of my office. I'm calling the police. Exactly. Because are these idiot people going to tell you that your bank can give out your bank account number, routing number? Statements? They can give you out all your banking information too? No, they can't. Nor can a doctor talk to an attorney's office that shows up and says, I want to talk to you about this person. There's HIPAA violations. I had a dog bite last year. Hired a dog bite attorney. Okay? I had to sign a release, and she said it's only a limited release, only containing for the dog bite. So I can pull your records to show the homeowner how bad you were hurt when I go to their insurance company and want a compensation. I had to sign it, and guess what? My doctor's office contacted me, made sure it was me, and then I had to sign a release for them. Because that's law. Now, I want you to think, them walking into those other doctors' offices, saying they want to talk about me, what were they to do? Call the police. Notify me. Those are federal crimes. So where Ohio neck and head surgeon said some psychiatrist is going around town bad-mouthing her. We told him that she said she was ever part of an FBI case. Don't believe her. We told him to get out of our office. We didn't want to hear it. They said they were talking among each other that she was part of an FBI case. That's why they're bad-mouthing her. Exactly. Or we'll ruin you so they can't use your testimony. They didn't want my testimony. You know what that federal agent wanted? That court order. He wanted me listed an FBI informant. With threat and attempt to life. With statements. And a court order for the police to book my phone, my home, my car, and a sheriff or an agent to document every day what was said and done around me. You wanted that court order because, like they said, the way that agent set it up. Stands up in court without her. It's legal police surveillance. He didn't want a testimony out of a drugged-up rape victim. Some rapist was running a scam on. Now, so where they say some psychiatrists run around badmouth me, they show up. Are they allowed to talk about their patients? No. Can they be in it with the riffraff? No. Can doctors tape you unaware? No. It's a 10-year federal sentence. And if they know someone's being harmed and they don't give a limited report to the police, go to jail as an accessory. So you know what their scam is, I've heard? Okay, Melissa's kids are documented in games of pretend. During an FBI case, Melissa got caught being friends with my ex-daughter-in-law, friends with Dave's girlfriend at the time. Them telling the kids to lie. Oh, even the two guys that said they worked for the drug lord. Laughing that Melissa was willing to help them. And she was going to have the kids lie. You're kidding. No, she's willing to help us. I talked to her. And you know what she's going to say? And then they laughed and giggled in front of the police and feds. She was working with the drug lords. Walmart 62. The two guys that said they worked for the drug lord. Yeah. She didn't make up her mean games of pretend till the FBI case. For Melissa, so stupid she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. Called her stupid trying this in front of him. See, they sold logins, so it don't matter. Then, what did her kids get taped stating on Thanksgiving of 18? They made everything up. They were games of pretend. And they wanted the house for Auntie Sean Bubble. Documented me games of pretend like they said it was sick. They were sitting around laughing, making everything up on me. It was sick. Karen's out risking her life to save everyone, get information on these people. And they're sitting around laughing. They ought to be ashamed of themselves making up stuff like that. Exactly. So we're going to put it this way. Nobody went to the hospital. There's no pictures of injuries. There's no police report because they're mean jokes. See, that's where they've been walking around saying, well, they had no proof of Melissa's kids because they're mean jokes. So they went through all her old doctors, found one that had taped her unaware confessing her crimes, was willing to help them. Bullshit. They wouldn't know what doctors I went to. Doctors don't tape you unaware. It's a federal crime. See, that's where my plastic surgeon that did my facelift, and he goofed it up. They got to him. He knew better. He knew better. I go get filler right here because it goes to sink in. I have numbness right here for 7 years. He didn't do it right. So I get laser treatments and stuff where if he would have pulled it just a smidge tighter, it'd been perfect. But no, I have to do extra stuff to my face because he didn't do it right. You know, some of the guys that work the case, they called him a Steve. Said that Steve lied to that ass and he didn't do her face right. Had no right talking to Steve. You know, after they got done with my face, it's like, I don't like it. Okay? Then I went in and got a CO2 laser. He didn't numb my face all the way when he started. It was excruciating. I was holding onto the table. I had a CO2 laser years later. They numbed up my face. It stung a little. But what that guy did was excruciating and cruel. Well, I had to go back in and get some injections. And people have been running around laughing how they drugged me and told me to say it before. Photoshopped everything, made everything up on me and framed me. I go in and the nurse is nasty. And went, how are you today? I said, well, not really good. My ex tried to kill me. And to cover it up, I said, we moved outside of a house in Ravenna, about 10 miles outside town. I said, I would be out working, be fine, come in, wash my hands, make something to eat and drink, take a drink out of a Diet Coke, the room, go dizzy and black. I said, or wake up with injection marks. I said, I'd be throwing up, bruised, infected. I said, I thought it was a dirty well water making me sick, just showering in it. I said, here they're laughing, they have me drugged, being raped. They had me drugged and told to say horrible stuff, and they're laughing in my face in front of people in stores. Her eyes got great big and her mouth dropped open. And more people have come up and laughed how they framed me more and more. And then how they photoshopped a shower scene in the other room. And I said, they're mocking me in front of people in stores. I said, do you know how illegal it is to drug somebody and to, for a fake confession and tell them to say something and to talk to anybody under the drugs? It's like a 20-year sentence. She went and walked out. Doctor came in, did his injections, walked out. Took a moment, got myself together, got my coat, got my phone, went to walk out. He had his back to me. You tell her son. Now, my son's not involved. Okay? They had somebody impersonate my son, I found out. My son lives in Florida. Lived there for years. They said they had somebody impersonating John riding around with him, asking him to help harass me. And nobody thought it was funny when they found out he was living in Florida. You tell her son. And those people I'm not willing to help. When she had surgery, while she was underneath the anesthetic, they had me question her and tape her. I didn't realize what I'd done. You tell them I'm not interested in helping out. You question somebody under drugs, it's considered pharmaceutical torture. It's a 20 to 30-year sentence. I watched this thing on TV. Anesthesiologist. We're laughing. You wouldn't believe when people come out of anesthesia, they'll tell you they love you. They'll ask you out. They'll tell you the craziest wild stories and they're lying their ass off. Where I told that nurse, I said, do you realize the next person that drugged me and the next person that drugged me, they get the craziness from the other person before where they drugged me and told me to say stuff until there is no truth left. They would just get the remnants of what those people had drugged and told me to say. That's when her mouth dropped open. Well, even an anesthesiologist, you lie under anesthesia. You lie your ass off. Had two investigators off in the distance. We already knew you lied your ass off underneath that stuff. We know what these people are trying to pull. See, that's why. He knew better. That can be 30 years in federal prison. 10 years for talking to him. See, that's where even Rebecca I hope he's working with the FBI to get information on these people. Attorney's office shows up and says, I want to talk about a patient of yours. You tell them, get out of your office. Then you call the police. You call the patient and let them know. They are not allowed to talk about you without your consent. Or any of your care or anything about you. It is a federal crime. I put it up on Facebook again. They can't pull your medical records without your consent. They can't talk to even another doctor without your signed consent. That other doctor can't talk about you. There's HIPAA and Privacy Acts. Those are federal crimes and 10-year sentences and $1.5 million each fines. People walked into Bob Evans this morning. I looked up on Facebook what she uploaded. They can't do any of this. No, they can't. See, where they were laughing, they had no evidence of Melissa's kids because they're mean jokes. So they thought they'd go back to her doctors, find one, and then find one that had taped her unaware confessing her crimes, and one willing to help. Oh, come on now. They wouldn't know what doctors I went to. Think about that. And no doctor might ask me of any crimes. I would have screamed out and walked out. You don't learn your place. And you're a sicko and I'm reporting you. See, that's where there was a plastic surgeon in Dover that I went to also. That's where I got the second CO2 lasers. He did a mistake in a surgery and a lady lost some blood. But he also told some of the female patients they had nice breasts. Do you know what happened? He lost his license forever. For misconduct, for the way he talked to the women. He was treating. Now, I want you to think, can these people do this? No. And are those other, like I said, I hope they're working with the FBI. The FBI don't have to put them in jail. But they knew better. Your doctor cannot even talk to another doctor without your signed consent. They can't refer to him. They can't do anything. See, in January of 19, they said they had fake paperwork to make it look official. It's not true about her. The guy that wrote it up didn't like her. Told him to get rid of it. I bet that's the fake medical records. And if the medical records are fake, I bet the doctor's fake. Because retired Judge Pete, friends with Ludick, letting him get away with crimes was fake. I bet the doctor's fake. I wonder if the attorney's office is fake. For everything's a scam. Everything's a lie. For what's going on? It's a real life case of how to get away with murder. They're killing people in front of people, having society help out. Get it? So, where Officer Mark wrote it up that is documented and verified as framed before, and it was a drug cartel in my home before. Dave told Danny he only hired some guy named Pete on his own. It was Pete and his men in my home before. Pete has her frame. Pete has her tape the filthy, dirty statement. I've never met Pete. He's just some guy Dave hired. That's where the North Canton Jackson police said, Karen, I was listening to this today. We all know nobody drugs anybody but the drug cartel. There was a drug cartel in your home before. Officer Mark already documented that Pete and Will are cartel. Bill from the Freemasons big scam. May 25th, 25. Hollister's in Fairlawn. Summit Mall. Had some guy go in and drug her up and tell her to say that. Can you imagine somebody drugging somebody up and tell them to say something like that? Laughing like it's funny. Take a video of you washing yourself in the shower. Can you imagine? Photoshopping that in another room. They ran a contest off of it, who could steal her money, and scammed everybody into helping out. If you put a brain cell behind what they're doing, it ought to outrage you. And then all these different doctors, they better be working with the FBI getting information on these people, or they're looking at life in federal for their crimes. See, these people don't care who they destroy along the way. They're just trying to pull their scam. Get it? I'm going to upload this.